Other interesting business news, the new Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 is the most powerful V8 production car, but costs about $173,300 before extortion, I mean tax, as well as Lord only knows what the dealers will do for their markup. So, another great feat of engineering, but it is also disappointing because, again, it's a new Corvette, which only has two pedals, also known as the automatic transmission, which is abysmally disappointing to say the least for an overwhelming majority of enthusiasts. I know the average driver doesn't really care these days in North America, which is quite sad. But yeah, it's also the first, at least the first ZR1 where it's only automatic, which is quite sad. At least it looks moderately pretty. Now, before we actually go to the article, I thought it'd be interesting to look at the physical comparison between the other ZR1s throughout history. Because again, to me, when I first saw this price point of, again, 100 was it $173,300 for a Corvette, which again, I'm one of the biggest Corvette guys out there. I mean, I would, if I won lottery, I'd love to get, what was it? Like a 2009 Corvette ZR1 only came in stick shift, as they all should by default. That was a feat of engineering. I remember in high school when it came out, fastest, most expensive production car in General Motors history. And just a clear coat on the carbon fiber roof and the hood was so expensive that specific UV protective material was like $80,000 per gallon. It was, and again, fastest of all time. It was amazing. And of course, the exhaust note was a symphony. But perhaps it's just nostalgia. Now, going to the historics, and I'm using this data thanks to Grok, or Grok, as they call it on the good old Twitter, or X. Now, they say, quote, and I asked it rather, the MSRP for the Corvette ZR1 throughout the years and adjusted for inflation. Now, the first Corvette ZR1, again, skip later to the video if you want to see the pictures. I'll have the new Corvette on the screen in a second. First one was 1970, 1971 ZR1, which was the C3 Corvette. They say, quote, the original ZR1 package on the C3 Corvette added $1,010.50 to the base price, which, when adjusted for inflation to $2,025, would be, of course, significantly higher. Now, of course, they say unfortunately for this particular year, they know that exact figures aren't commonly cited due to the rarity of these models. Because, again, these models nowadays, again, not financial advice, you should never treat a car like that. They're going for like a couple, like 250 plus, like, yeah, $220,000 to $250,000 for the ZR1s from the 70s. Because again, they only made a couple of them. They're ridiculously comically rare. Now, GM did wise up to realize, oh wait, people would love an even better premium model on top of the Z06 or the Z06. And yes, the consumer said yes to that. The 1990 to 1995 Corvette ZR1, which was great, but they didn't really make the engine, Lotus did. But nevertheless, that C4 Corvette ZR1 started at $68,143 in 1990, which translates to about $112,000 when you translate into them into 2024 dollars, which, yeah, most of the inflation calculators, I mean, 2025 just started, so that's the best data we have at the moment. In 1995, the MSRP was about $72,000. Adjusted for inflation, was $125,000 in 2024 year terms. Now, the 2009 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, the C6, which to me, that was last year, was really more a lot more curvature to the car. After that, the C7 and on, they got a lot more angular, and they tried to, in my opinion, really merge even more with the theme of going after Lamborghini and Ferrari. But I partially digress. The 2009 Corvette ZR1 C6, the base price in 2009 was $103,970, which would be approximately $141,395 in 2025 dollars. Actually, they do have some modern inflation calculations here going to 2025, which, again, the new one is 173. Yeah. Now the 2019 ZR1, which, yeah, to me that was kind of the pinnacle of engineering in terms of the engine was in front as God intended, just like the chariots of yesteryear. Is a front, good old rear-wheel drive front engine. That, I mean, stick shift option. That's the last good year for the Corvette. I'm actually not exaggerating too much personally, but they say, quote, the 2019 Corvette ZR1 has started with an MSRP of $119,995. Adjusted for inflation to 2005, that'd be roughly $147,594. Now, of course, now you have the new one at $170. Now, here they're saying the MSRP is about $175,000 for one LZ Coupe, which, yeah, that's if you can get it at that price. We'll see what the dealers do. Lord only knows how many cars they've killed by marking them up too much. Thinking of you, Ford dealers killing what was a cool Ford Focus RS all-wheel drive, which, yeah, dealers marked up $20,000 to $30,000, which made it trash. Now, going to the OG search engine, Yahoo, they actually are still around somehow. They say, quote, C8 Corvette ZR1, a true American sports car, which, again, only two pedals. If you want a two-pedal supercar, they already exist. They're called Lamborghinis. I don't know. This country. This is by Steven Smiles over there. And you can look, it has so much, I mean, there's so many angles on that, you might cut yourself like a paper cut. It's like origami, which, again, some people appreciate. Again, if it had that manual transmission, that would be, again, such a lost business opportunity. I don't know how Mary Barrow still has a job, to be frank, the CEO. Because, again, people are willing to pay a premium for a stick shift supercar, especially this one that's more mass produced, so to say. So, like, it's not one off like a Pagani, which, yes, there's one stick shift with Pagani. Technically, there's a stick shift option. But, like, yeah, GM still thought it'd be a good idea to just give that crown over to Porsche as the last of the great ones making the sticks. But nevertheless, I'll dive in the article. They say, quote, now that the CA Corvette ZR1 has been revealed, everyone can stop speculating about the performance specs. There's no doubt it's the quickest production Corvette ever made, boasting 0 to 60 in time of 2.3 seconds with an optimal ZTK package outfitted. There are other impressive things about the Chevy supercar as well. Let's keep the moderately looking good car on the screen for you can see that while I read here. Now, they say, quote, sitting behind the driver and the passenger is a wondrous twin-turbo 5.5 liter LT7 flat plank crank V8 with 1,064 horsepower, 828 foot-pounds of torque on tap. That makes the C8 ZR1 the most powerful production Chevy Corvette as well. Many have tried arguing that all C8 Corvettes are supercars. They're not. They look like they're trying to be a supercar, but they're not. Kind of like the poser skater kids in the high school, which I did have a skateboard, could barely do a kick flip. No, an ollie. I forgot what the tricks are called. I could like go down the street and stay on the board most of the time. Now they say, quote, something which people can get all worked up. We think the ZR1 easily qualifies for this one, especially now that the performance specs are confirmed. Now, like they say that ZDK can blast through a quarter mile at 9.6 seconds. They know that even if you don't opt for the ZTK option, the ZR1 can do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds and the quarter mile in 9.7 seconds. Both are respectable times, even to snobby European supercar owners. Yeah, but it was all also I don't know why GM keeps trying to compete with Ferrari and Lamborghini. They've been hiring engineers from there for decades. This isn't the new theme or anything. But again, GM should have just made a separate division or a separate brand of the portfolio outside Chevrolet, Cadillac, GMC, or Buick to be a supercar. Because again, the purpose of the Corvette is to be an everyman's car, an everyman's sports car. And it's cool that they have the ZR1, but at this price point, I mean, we'll see how many they sell, but I don't know. I mean, Porsche's the same price point. I think people are going to get the Porsches. I mean, it's almost enough for the Porsche Turbo S. I think they'll start about 200. Again, before dealer markup rather. Let's see the little commercial they have here. I think it's about 20. Yeah, maximize that screen for us. I was going to say, I can barely hear that exhaust note. Let's try it one more time. I don't know. To me, nothing beats the good old commercial, the Chevrolet We Build Rockets. That was for the 2009 Corvette ZR1, which I thought that was, granted, nostalgia as well, but I thought that was one of the peaks or pinnacles of General Motors. Now, they say that, quote, after all, the C7 ZR1 is still highly respected for pushing the bounds, and even though it has the engine in front of the car and passenger, many still consider it to be the true supercar. Yes, we do. It also has 3 pedals. I know I'm being overly bombastic and mentioning that about 50 times. Lord knows do not make that a drinking game of the show, because I mentioned that probably at least 3 times per show. I recommend it would not be good for your health, but obviously I'm a little bit of a purist and enthusiastic. I've only ever owned stick shifts. That's all I've ever bought. It's all I'll ever own. Now they say, quote, Chevy seems to know what they have because they expect the C8 ZR1 to be a true special car. In 2025, the ZR1 has yet again exceeded our expectations. This is by Geoff Holder, the chief engineer of Corvette. He said that combined with the top speed Combined with the top speed record of 233 miles per hour, which is unrivaled by any current production car at under 1 million, the Corvette ZR1 delivers a mission to provide customers the relentless power, which, yeah, that's pretty good having a top speed. That was pretty impressive because the previous ones were usually hovering around 205 to 212, I believe. We look at the other ZR1s throughout the years, so it does have some nice top-end speed. But, I mean, who do you think this is really going to compare to? Slightly cheaper than a Lamborghini. Man, a Ferrari. I still think it's a whole different type of consumer, though. They've been trying to go after that customer base for decades. And again, it's very impressive. Just keeping the V8 alive, I love that. If I was a multimillionaire, I mean, yeah, if I was a multimillionaire, I would buy this, then pay an engineer that's a lot smarter than me to, hack it apart and put in a third pedal somehow. I mean, that's what I would do for this car, which, yes, I know would make it infinitely slower, but to me, be a lot more miles per gallon. And that's what I would do. But again, it looks all right. I mean, if you're inebriated, it kind of looks like an Acura NXX, the new ugly one. Not the vintage one from the 90s, the stick shift, which, yes, that is vintage nowadays. But let me know thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in again. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.